I think steroids are as American as apple pie. Sit here and watch this and think that I'm the biggest jerk off or fluke or freak or whatever you want to call me, you know? I may not look appealing to you or anybody else, but that doesn't matter to me.
All right, what is going on? I know I say that all the time, but I mean it. What's going on? How you guys doing? It's the New Year's, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't make New Year's resolutions because I keep myself healthy and eat good and train and do all the things that most people want to do as a resolution. You know, I do it all year round, so I don't make New Year's resolutions. But I hope all of you are, are doing well, and I hope that this is going to be your year, 2024. Listen, I want you all to I'm going to tell you how I became the Ramblin Freak for MD.com. For MD Magazine, excuse me, and .com, by the way. You know, because I wrote the article, Ramblin Freak for Muscular Development Magazine, and I also wrote the article, MD.com. So that's 2 articles, okay? And I got paid lovely. And I'm going to tell you, so I want you to watch this. Give this in a minute. That's what I'm going to tell you about. But first, I'll tell you this. So anyway, I wanted to talk about a few things, that we talk about on After Hours, and just talk a little bit more about stuff and get a few things going straight. Supposedly, Priest is going to be back here at my house in March. I just want to get that, I have a little plan to do some shit with him, but that should be fun. He's going to come here with my boy Joe Zapata of Joe Zapata's podcast. Look for Jersey Joe on his channel, okay? This is also, I got to give my friend's supplement here a plug. GameFaceSupplements.com. The best. I saw Joe Rogan recently doing a show, doing a plug for that on it, that fucking bullshit that he takes. This smokes it. Alpha Brain, this smokes that, bro. 800 milligrams of lion's mane, DMA, EE, heparazine, all those other, and the ingredients smoke his shit. So, best nootropic smart drug around. Alright, there you go. I do take it, and I'm not just plugging it because it's my friends. I do take it. So, anyway, enough said with that. And I don't get money for that, so I don't give a shit. There's no promo code, so if you go to, what's the name, GameFaceSupplements.com, you know, there's no promo code to put in. You don't have to say anything about me. You know, that's just it. That's not my supplement. Anyway, alright, next. Recently we've been doing a lot of stuff on I've been doing a lot with Dave and all on the After Hours, and we've been talking about that kid, that Sam kid, what's his name, Sam Sulek, whatever it is. I've never really watched the video of the kid, but I've seen him because we have to talk about him on After Hours, so Dave makes you watch these little clips, because that's what we're going to talk about, okay, and, listen, I think the kid's, doing his thing. Leave him alone. I personally would be doing the same thing. I lived a crazy life when I was young, and I'm going to get to a little bit of that in a minute. But, some of you seen what I look like as a teenager, and this kid's already 21, but I was as a teenager, bro. Nobody's beating my ass. Okay, so I was really good. I don't... These people get a little crazy about this guy, where they're attacking, my boy Armand and all those guys on the thing. We're making jokes. Don't say anything, you're going to get attacked. You know what I mean? But, listen, leave the kid alone. Let him do what he wants to do. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I don't care. I think Dave's wrong by pushing him for compete, because if you compete, your lines better be incredible. And you better be in an amazing condition. And I think that there's no reason for that. Okay, Rich Piana didn't have to compete. He competed years ago. Competing didn't work out for him. He didn't become pro, but he made himself a superstar on Instagram, or not Instagram, Instagram, YouTube, all this bullshit, okay? So, what I'm saying is, if this kid's doing really well, and he's making scuttle, okay? I said on the show, on After Hour show, I said, listen, if the kid's watching, be like that girl, cash me outside. Nobody on the show knew who the hell I was talking, which was mind-boggling. Danielle Bergoli. But a lot of you guys commented, and you knew who I was talking about. Okay? So, put your money aside. save for a rainy day, start investing in properties and stuff. Because, listen, you think Arnold and I once talked, and he talked about real estate with me, and he was told me that he made more money off real estate than he did off movies, and I believe him. Okay? So, real estate's the way to go. Who knows with this economy, though, with this guy. We won't even get into that. But, just, I think the kid should just keep doing what he's doing, make videos. Don't listen to Dave about the competing stuff. Dave's tried to get Lee to compete again, tried to get me to compete. I hadn't competed since the 80s. He wanted all that shit. And I told Lee, don't do it. You're crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's Steve. I haven't competed in years. None of us have competed. I haven't competed fucking 40 years, whatever it's been. And maybe even more. 40 years. But it's no good. Just, Dave's solution sometimes is not always the right solution. And that's not putting Dave down. I love Dave. Dave's my boy, and that's who I go to, when I got an issue I want to, try to straighten out, because Dave is smart. But with that, I think the kid Sam should just keep doing what he's doing. That's it. Keep doing what you're doing and start investing some of that money for the future. There you go. So, that's about that. I had to bring that up because, man, it's this tough subject that people go crazy about that. The comments. Some of you guys are belligerent about that stuff. Nobody's bashing a guy. Listen, I don't really follow bodybuilding anymore. It's not the sport I fell in love with. I've talked to plenty of other pro bodybuilders, guys, in the industry. And they all say the same thing. A lot of them do. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to bring up names, but, a lot of them do. So, it is what it is. Anyway, next subject, okay? All right, let me.
Grew up reading Muscular Development.
Listen,
they told it to you
40s.
straight. Gregg Valentino told it to you straight. Remember that dude?
Oh,
with
yeah.
his arms?
Well, he inject synthol in his arms, make them like balloons. Yeah.
Fucked up, but he would tell you the real.
Yeah, come on, Greg.
When we were doing the show, Dave, brings up about Steve Blackman, Dave and John. And of course, Steve Blackman is the owner of Muscular Development magazine. He's the one that fired Dave and John. Now Dave and John have their reasons why they believe they were fired. And, I know Steve has his reasons. Steve Blackman, he let me go a long time ago, after 15 years, from listening to Adina when she became, I helped her get in where she got in, get in with Muscular Development, and she was just a forum girl, and she eventually became the editor-in-chief of the online thing, and then she's the one who turned, stabbed me in the back and said to me, said to Steve, get rid of him, he cusses too much, and all this other shit. Cusses, I hate that word. I curse, you fucking Momo. Anyway. And he was big with the babanya, meaning, the babanya, the drugs. And, so, Steve let me go, but Steve made a mistake, you know what I mean? And he did hire me back, and it doesn't matter. I want to say this on the record. It doesn't matter, because Dave and John always blasted him, and I'm not going to blast him. I tell him I'm not going to do that. If Steve Blackman came out today and made a video about me, saying that I was the biggest piece of shit that ever worked for him. I'm just a no-good, rotten motherfucker. Excuse me. It would hurt me. COVID. It would hurt me, right? It would hurt my, hurt my feelings. But I would never say anything bad about the guy. And I'm going to tell you why. What kind of man would I be if I bit the hand that fed me so well and it made me, basically, Big Willie in this sport? You understand what I'm saying? Brought me out into the public. He took me out of the gutter. And John Romano did not want him to hire me. He tried to talk him out of it. Told Steve, you're crazy. This guy doesn't bring anything to the table. What do you, and what happened was when I had the biggest arms bullshit, Steve sent this guy called a Sandwich. Okay, his real name was Josh. I think it's Josh Brown, if I'm correct. I forgot his. It's been a long time. And he called me up off the internet. He called me, saw me picture stuff on the internet. I said, yeah, my boss. I work for Steve Blackman from Muscular Development magazine, and he wants me to do an interview for you on you. And I said, all right, And he said, I'm going to ask you some fucked up questions, and I want you to answer it, truthfully. And because we get funky, I have a funky style. And I said, okay, I got you. And he goes to me, okay, first question. Are you hung? How big is your dick? And I said, okay, here we go. All right, dude, you got me. You had me going for a minute. I believed you. I thought you were for real. He goes, no. I do that as a thing. We break, I break the ice, we fuck around, and get funky. And listen, here's Steve Blackman's number. Call me, I'll call you in 15 minutes. Call him right now and verify that I'm legit. So I call Steve, take the number, I call up Steve Blackman. Steve Blackman says, no, that's Josh Brown. We call him a Sandwich. That's what he wrote under that. I believe it was Josh Brown. His name, I know his first name was Josh. And he wrote, he wrote under the name The Sandwich. Okay, and we want to do an interview with you. I know he asked you crazy things, probably asked you how big your dick is. I said, that's exactly what he said to me. He said, no, he's legit. Do the interview. So I said, all right, I did the interview. So I did the interview, right, and he was asking me questions. I'm going to say a name, any name, Britney Spears. What do you think of when I say that name, Britney Spears? And I said, I think I would live in the bathroom a whole week just to smell one of her farts. And he started, going crazy. They started asking me questions. If you saw Craig Titus in a gym, and he was giving you bad looks, and then walked up to you, and he punched you, what would you do? And I said, first of all, I'm friends with Craig Titus. And I said, second of all, I would kick his fucking ass, I would, or try, and I would try, but I'm not going to sit there, he's going to punch me, I'm going to fucking fight him back, I'm not afraid. It was asking me, really insane questions like that, that have really nothing to do with body. But then he would ask, he asked me about the arms. Did you inject the arms with synthol? And I said, no, I injected the arms with steroids, and which is the truth. I know some of you don't believe me. I don't give a fuck. Believe what you want. I don't give a shit if you think I injected dog urine in there. I don't give a fuck anymore. Okay, whatever. But I was big all over, bro, including the Piscia Ligad down there. By the way, the Italian slang, piscia or pisciadil, is the real way. The word Piscia Ligad came from my father. Okay? So when I say Piscia Ligad, and, that's because that's the way we Italians say it in my family. Okay? Now, John Romano says it sometimes. I got that from me, because that's my father made that word up. So, just let you know. Anyway, so, I said the Piscia Ligad is big too, so I'm big all over the place, and we're just going back and forth. Anyway, Steve Blackman loved the interview. And he said to me, he wanted to hire me. And he said, I want to have dinner with you, and let's get together, and I want you to write an article first, and then we're going to have dinner, and I'm going to tell you what I feel about the article. Because I'm looking to make a regular column with you, because I like your craziness, that nuttiness, and stuff. So, John Romano was trying to talk him out of it. But anyway, long story short, I had just got out of jail. I wasn't working, you know what I mean? I had a history of doing crazy things and bad things, and I was in with bad people. But now I'm out of jail, so I'm trying to change my life and everything like that. I don't want to get arrested anymore. I got kids, and I lost them. I lost my family. I lost a lot. My sister talked about that when you watch the ESPN special, the E60 special on me, Gregg Valentino Super Freak. So anyway, I wrote this crazy article because I knew these tranny porn stars, right? Bob Bonham and I would be hanging out in the club, so, all the girls in New York, some are trannies and some of that, they're porn stars, and, this one tranny, she would still get a fucking hard on and get her nuts, she got her nuts cut off and she still was getting a hard on, right? In movies, I'm talking about. She would do it in movies. and even like bust a little nut with like seminal fluid coming out of there. And now, hold on, before you get crazy, and just listen to what I'm telling you. Okay, I'm from New York, bro, so you guys have a different mindset. If you're cornfield, New York, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, but these are like the chicks you see in porn, okay? And I wrote this article, and I said, meanwhile, I have a bunch of friends who go on steroids, all right? They're taking, testosterone, they come off, and, now the testosterone's so low, and they can't get it hard on, much less come. You understand? And I'm saying I don't understand how this tranny, who was once a guy, got his dick cut off. You understand? And not the dick, the balls, the bolinis, the bolinis there. You got them cut off. Now he's shooting loads, still, and still gets a hard on. And I said, I don't understand. Meanwhile, some bodybuilder takes fucking steroids, and they can't, they lose, they come off. And they got no usually got don't work. You know what I'm saying? So go figure that out. How does somebody with no nuts get a hard on and still be able to shoot? And they're taking estrogen, the trannies. And this person's over here just stopped doing tests. He can't come. And that was the first article I ever wrote for Ramblin Freak. And Steve Bleckman said, this is the sickest fucking thing I've ever read. Because it's long, the way I wrote it was crazy, okay? And he said, this is insane. He goes, but I love it, though. He goes, I love this. He goes, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars. By the way, I was the highest paid columnist. Okay, I made more than the other guys. It's just, Dave and John made off because they were the editors and stuff. But as far as columns go, I made a lot per column. I'm not sure about John, but I know I made more than Dave for a column. But, I won, the most popular columns a few times. We were on stage, and Triple H was there, and it was, and they were asking him questions about, what do you think about muscular development? What's your favorite? Because it was on the MD stage at the Arnold Classic, and he said, they asked, what do you like about MD? And he said, I love the Ramblin Freak. And Dave Palumbo standing at Dave trains Triple H, and Dave goes, hey! That's fucked up. And he goes, and the anabolic freak, too. Okay, so, hello, goodbye. Anyway, so now, Steve Bleckman gave me this great contract. An unbelievable contract. I was there for 15 years. He took me out of the shit pile, out of the gutter. Okay? He took me, you couldn't get any lower than I was. Steve was so good to me. He was so good to me, okay? It didn't matter, what could happen. He allowed me, he kept giving me raises too. 15 years, and I'd get these raises, I would make a lot of money. And, Dave said, well, that made you lazy. It didn't make me lazy, it's what I did. You know what I mean? You only know one thing too. Well, John, we all know one thing. So listen, this industry. So now, when the time came and Adina came in and he had fired me, I went to get unemployment, and he tried to fight it. He tried to say, no, I can't give him unemployment, because he was an independent contractor, and that's not true. Well, that's true, but because I had a contract that wouldn't let me work for anybody else. Okay, it stated it in the contract. The judge read. It wasn't a judge; it was a moderator. You know what I mean? It was an unemployment court. And they went in and they read it, because remember, I relied on this guy and then it was like overnight, chop, like that. One day you're working, next day you're not. So, the judge decided, no, this guy, your contract is bad with him, meaning me, as far as, making it so that, I may be independent in this way, but I couldn't do it with anybody else. So they gave me the money. So Dave tells everybody, I took him to court. I didn't take him to court. He took me to court. And it was a company thing. It was actually, I'm not going to say the person's name because it's a woman. And I really like her. She worked for the company. She was running things. And she's the one who did the whole court thing. Steve called me, apologized to me. Apologized like a man. And said, Greg, I've always loved you, man. I was wrong. I was wrong about you. I shouldn't have listened to Adina. He fired Adina anyway. But, and he took me back. But I love the guy, bro. I told him, Steve, no matter what you did to me, you could do whatever you want to me. It doesn't matter, because what you gave me, it was priceless. because I was able to raise my children and be there, take them to school, everything, go back, because I didn't have them. They were, my ex-wife had them, but she had to work, and her husband worked, so I did everything with the kids. I even with school trips. It's a whole thing. And my kids, I'm my kid's hero because of that, because of I was able to be there for them, and because Steve Blackman paid me that good that I was allowed. So now I want to ask you guys one question. What kind of man would I be if I put that man down? If I made fun of him like those guys do, or did any of that shit. And not for nothing, they shouldn't be doing that, because there's a lot more to the story. And, Steve gave us all opportunity. Okay? He gave us all the opportunity. He made us out there. He put us out there. Okay? I will never talk bad about that guy. It doesn't matter. He could curse me out and he could shit on me. I will never take, because he was so good to me and so good to my family. He would take me and my girlfriend out to like steak dinners that you wouldn't believe. I mean, he would do everything. He paid for my trips everywhere. I mean, he was so good to me. What kind of man would I be? What kind of man would I be if I put him down just because I'm not working here anymore? Or because I don't agree? He never fired. After that, when I went back, I was only doing the online. He paid me to do the online, and then, the magazine was, going down. So, eventually I just went the other way. I went with Iron Mag Labs, who offered me a bigger, pay. But the thing is, what kind of man would I be? Well, I still talk to him to this day. I still talk to Steve. And Dave says to me, get Steve on the show. I can't get Steve on the show. He's not going to go on that show. I talked to Ron Harris. We type, text and shit. And, they want the Ron Harris on. Well, Ron Harris is not going to go on. He's not stupid. You're going to start asking him personal questions. Doesn't Steve owe you money? Doesn't Steve we're not going to bash him. And sure enough, that's exactly what's going to happen. There's too much bad blood. It's not going to happen. Okay? But the thing I want you to know is, what I wouldn't be able to look you guys in the eye and carry my chin up. You wouldn't be able to respect me if I bit that hand that fed me for all those years. Why? Just because I'm not working there anymore? No. It's not going to happen. It's not happening. Okay? So, I just want you guys to know, Steve Blackman is my boy. I love him. I thank him. Thank you, Steve Blackman, if you're watching this, what you did for me. You took me out of the gutter when you were told by John Romano, a few others who I'm friends with now, love John, but let's be honest, Steve, turned his head away from all the naysayers. What do you want? Look at the article this guy writes about fucking tranny porn stars getting their dicks cut off and shooting loads, still getting their balls cut off. The Ballinis down there getting them shooting loads, and then bodybuilders can't get a hard on just because they stopped taking testosterone. I thought it was a great article. So did Steve, because he gave me the job. So there you go. That's how I became the Ramblin Freak. So that's my story about Steve Blackman and everything. And I love the guy again. I wouldn't be able to look you people in the eye, and I know you wouldn't respect me if I did that shit. Now, listen to me, okay? I just want to tell you something. I did a lot of bad things before I got arrested. A lot of bad things. And way before that, okay? I did a lot of bad things. I never hurt anybody, per se, okay? I didn't kill nobody. I didn't rape nobody. But I did a lot of really bad things, and I was not, really the greatest person. You know what I mean? I wasn't. I was very bad with my wife. No, I never hit her or nothing, but I was cheating on her all the time, and she knew it, and she kind of, her face kind of got rubbed in it, so to speak. She knew it and couldn't stop it, and I would lie to her and everything. So and I take full responsibility. It was 100. She was a great girl. 100% my fault. My fault. Marriage down. 100% my fault. But at the time when you're caught in a riptide, and some of you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're caught in a riptide, you can't swim against it because you drowned. You almost have to swim with it. And in an angle, so to speak. I couldn't stop what I was doing. It was bad. It was really, really bad. okay? And actually, my arrest and everything, I remember sitting in the fucking car, and I was not arrested by cops, per se. I was arrested by cops, but they were coalition for Janine Pirro. Judge Janine, she's the one who had me arrested, okay? She arrested me. And, you know, and it wasn't Fed, so I wasn't in Club Fed. It was state shit, okay? Now, listen to what I'm going to tell you. You know, I did bad things, and there's things I sit back and I look at. I'm not going to tell you because it's just not nice, okay? You know. Anyway, I think about some of those things today that I did, and I go, oh my God, what in God's name were you thinking of? What in God's name were you thinking of? You know, I did, you know, burglaries and things like that. And I'm not proud of it. You know, I did a lot of things, okay? And I was with bad guys, really bad guys. Some wise guys and some really bad guys. And you get, you hang out with dogs, you catch fleas. You lay with dogs, you catch fleas. My mother used to say, you walk with a man who limps for any length of time, you'll start limping too. You know what I mean? And I know what she meant. And, you know, so, you know, my father used to say, you can't soar with the eagles when you're crawling on the ground with the rats and the ants. You know what I mean? And, you know, so there's all these little expressions. I can go on. But anyway, so what I'm trying to tell you is that, you know, after my arrest and I had nothing, Steve Bleckman, when he took me, it was so good. You know, changed my life and everything like that. That's why I can't ever talk bad about it. But when I look back at it now, the only thing I can tell you is you can't let things haunt you. You can't let your past haunt you. It's done. You could sit here and bang your head against the wall over things that you cannot control, and all you're going to do is make your head sore. Like idiots. I have a friend, you know, had an argument with his wife. He was so pissed off he punched the wall. Guess what happened? You're right. He broke his hand. He broke his fucking hand, right? So now, and what do you think she did? You're violent. She calls cops. Cops come, right? You know, so now he goes to the hospital, broken hand, goes to the police lock him up, comes out, now he's getting, you know, wife wants to get a divorce. So look what you just did. Alright? You can't bang your head over the wall over things you can't control. It's not going to change it. Punching walls don't change anything. Just makes you get broken hand and possibly could put you in jail. Okay? I realized that, you know, you have to first realize that, you know, the only person who can save you is you. Nobody's coming to save your ass but you. So you gotta be able to see that you're a fuck up. Because I knew I was a fuck up. I knew it. And it was I remember at one point when I was sitting in that patrol car, you know, when they had me, well, it wasn't, wait, they didn't put me in a patrol car. That was later on. That was when I come from court. And it was a patrol, that was that van. But the fucking, when they had me, they locked me up. They put me in my own car in the back seat because they took my car because I owned it. It was a Yukon, you know, Yukon XL. I paid like fucking $42,000 cash. That's back then. Back in the 90s, I paid that for that thing. Anyway. So I'm sitting in the back of my own car and I'm fucking handcuffed. I'm like, holy shit, how low is this? You know? They're Ricoing my car. And I'm looking out the window, but I'm saying, you know what, though? This is going to have to be a new beginning because this is, I can't deal with this. It was almost like a relief because I was around bad people all the time doing really bad things. You know, things that could have got me killed. I can't tell you how many times, you know, guns to my head, but, you know, shit, you know, getting beat with a fucking shotgun and, you know, the butt of a shotgun and, you know what I mean? All kinds of shit happened with me, you know. I was stabbed in my forearm once, you know, it's like crazy shit. And I said, you know, this got to change, you know. It's got to change. Sometimes you have to, you know, you have to be able to smell your own shit, you know. It's just like, I'm not trying to get all crazy with you, but I just figured maybe somebody could get help with this. I remember when my arm was all fucking, the hematoma was hanging like this, like a fucking balloon. I was in a, people would look at me and I'd be like, what, you know. I didn't think it was that bad. Bob Bonham used to sit with me and, you know, we were out with Rodney St. Cloud, a few guys that I'm friends with, bodybuilders, Rodney, And we're sitting there, and, Bob would say to me, even Victor Martinez, and they'd say to me, oh my God, Bob would say to me, bro, I can't even sit and look at you. Because I'd have, like, tank top on and shit. He'd go, dude, your arm, one arm is so fucked up, you look like a goddamn cartoon, it doesn't look real. And I was like, what are you talking about? And a couple days later, I was in a deli in Manhattan. Yeah, it's all New York City, right? And I'm in a fucking deli, and the deli had all this, like, mirrored. It was, like, mirrored poles and mirrored walls. It was like, I don't know why it was all mirrored, but I'm standing there, and I'm looking in the mirror. I can see myself this way, I can see myself this way, and I can even see the back of me, But when I looked this way, I saw my arm. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? And, I felt like I had that, like, you remember Quado or whatever. You remember from Arnold movie where he's in that space, what is it, where the fucking thing, where he opens up the jacket and that fucking thing comes out of the guy, Quado, you know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, man, that's fucking disgusting. Look like a fucking giant softball hanging there, That's when the next day I quickly ran in and called Bob Bonham, and I started draining that fucking thing, and then TLC, picked it up and everything. And the only reason why TLC picked it up is because I was doing a video for Firecracker Films with the BBC on steroids and shit. And Bob said, you got to see this fucking video, Greg. And he puts it in, and it shows me draining the blood like this, And they're like, please give that to us, please, Anyway, but it's like I saw the reality when I looked in that window. When I looked in that fucking mirror, I saw the reality of, like, it's the same fucking view I got when when they had me in my own car in the back seat, and I got two cops on each side, detectives, and I'm fucking got my hands behind my back, and, and then they bring me to jail, and I see that fucking kid. I've told the story before. There was a kid, was in jail and shit. There's another kid. There's a few guys I knew from the gym and stuff in jail. There's one kid, he used to tell me in the gym, oh, I want to be just like you. I want to get jacked like you, you know what I mean? And, I saw him later on in the gym, and he started taking steroids, he's getting jacked. He's like, dude, I'm getting like you, bro, like this. I hadn't seen him in a long time, I get locked up, and I go in a fucking, carrying my bedding up to the fucking thing with the fucking COs. Because I was on a top tier. As I'm walking by, I see the kid. I see the light, and I see the kid looking at me like this. Because he used to tell my girlfriend, he's my hero. I love that guy. I love Valentino. He's my hero. I want to be just like him. I want to be just like him. And then they bring me up. And I've told this story before, so some of you relax. But when I went into that jail cell, I could still see him. He's looking up like this because I'm up here. And he's down here, and he's looking at that fucking window, And I said, I guess you're just like me. I guess you got your wish, huh? Look at the big star now, meaning me, And, my girlfriend had been in prison a lot. She'd been in prison, I wasn't in prison, I was in jail. It's a difference. But, it was crazy. And I just remember thinking, man, this is it, bro. You look at you. You're fucking sitting in a goddamn jail cell now. From your stupid decisions. So I knew how to make a change. So the bottom line is sometimes life's got to smack you in the face and kick you in the nuts, you know what I mean? Till you, like, say, holy shit, I think I need to make some changes. The only thing is the changes I made, I knew I had to change. A lot of you guys just don't see that, though. I mean, your life is bad, and you're blaming your best friend, or you're blaming your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, or whatever the fuck your spin is. And you never look in the fucking mirror and just say, you know what, I'm a fuck up. I got another friend. He's a good-looking guy. Can't get a girlfriend. It's been, all girls love him when they first meet him, and 2-3 dates in, they can't get it. He just never had a real girlfriend. And he's really good-looking, man. Girls love him when they first meet him. They think he's hot as hell. But he says stupid shit. He does stupid shit. He thinks a fucked up way. And I had to tell him, did you ever think that maybe it's time that you need to make a change? That it's you? It's not, Maybe it's not all the girls. The 20 girls you dated, he's in his 50s and stuff. Never been married, never had a real girlfriend. Just little moments of having girlfriends, Never more than a month to 2 months, And like I said, good looking guy, 6'2", good looking, could fight like a motherfucker, jiu-jitsu star. But fucking personality's fucked up, his thinking is fucked up. And I said, did you ever think that maybe your thinking has created this for you? That, that you can't see reality? Well, I saw my reality, okay? He still doesn't see his reality. It's going on right now while we speak, His bullshit. And if you don't love yourself and take care of yourself and do the right thing, you can't expect other people to love you. And you can't expect other people to respect you or want to be around you, okay? If you're so self-absorbed that you think your own shit, you don't smell that shit, you know what I mean? You're going to get hit with reality one day and it's going to hurt because you're going to realize the reason why your life is fucked up is because of you. You can't blame other people. Yes, there's people out there that don't get breaks, don't seem to get the good breaks. Maybe their boss fucking is a dick or whatever. Then get out of there. Then go look at, then look at the silver lining is sometimes maybe when you leave, that's when the silver lining is going to happen. Or maybe the relationship. You and this girl are in the most toxic fucking relationship. And all the fucking, all that you could talk to her left and right, you can buy her the fucking sun. It doesn't matter. It's not going to work, bro. The glass slipper doesn't fit. And if it don't fit, you must have quit. You understand what I'm saying? If it's not right, there's nothing you're going to do to make that glass slipper fit. So it's time to change things, And I knew I didn't want my life like that. When I left the jail, bro, when I got out of there, I remember the fucking CO going, "You'll be back. I'll see you again. You're a piece of shit." That's what he told me. I didn't even know the guy. I just saw him on the way out. He wasn't in my fucking, cell block there. But I'm like, nah, you're never going to see me again, motherfucker. You know what I mean? You gotta make the changes. Nobody's coming to help you. There's no cavalry coming. You can't buy somebody's affection. You can't do that. It's not gonna happen. If it don't fit, you ain't gonna be able to make it fit. Move on, because there's better things out there. Now, let's get back to the story. Follow me. I'm getting somewhere. Getting back to the story with Dave and John. They got fired. They lost a lot of money. They were getting paid, 6 figures, and then some. They're getting a lot of money, okay? And they lost everything. But they still had enough money built up that it could, ride on it a little bit. And they were already starting a long little thing. But it got them to, where they are now. They got RX Muscle, and it's doing really good. And maybe if they never got fired or things didn't happen, it wouldn't happen this way. Dave wouldn't have been as hungry to make this happen as he would have if he was still working there collecting that kind of money. You see? So what at first was a bad thing turns out to be a positive thing. I remember when Tom Platz I think he broke his arm. Was it his arm? I think it was his arm. And he was saying that it was the greatest thing that happened to him. And you're like, how's it broken arm? Because it helped him to do more in business and everything else. And he said, I focus more on my business now because I knew I couldn't train. I had this downtime. And what happens is that every dark cloud has a silver lining. That's what Tom Platz said. He's right. He's right. I wrote a book. I've done videos. I've done all this stuff. I've been in mainstream media. I just did 2 shows for A&E. It's supposed to come out this month, January. When you see they have a docu-series, David Chappelle, all these others, I did 2 of them. I did half of the Hulk Hogan one, and I did the full Arnold one, okay? Where I do commentary. You'll see. But I've been at Jay Leno, Carson Daly, but it wouldn't have never happened if I was still doing that other shit. Where I was making tons of money, You know what I mean? Like when I was drug dealing and doing bad things. Okay, I was making a lot of money, bro. I'm talking a lot of money. A lot of money. Life-changing money. Cops took a lot. Ex-wife took a lot. Bills, lawyer bills, from here to the ceiling. A lot of things, you know. So, the bottom line, I don't want to keep ranting here. The bottom line is, yeah, I want to help you guys, you know. So I'm going to be doing more videos. I know, how are you even saying that? No, believe me, I got some good ones coming, and I got some people who might be in with me. But I just want you to know that if you're going through it, it's a new year. Maybe change some of your ways. Maybe it's not everybody else that's fucked up. It's not your parents or whatever. Maybe it's you. It's not your wife or girlfriend or your friends. Maybe it's you. And if it is them, then get the fuck out of there, because you can't make a glass slipper fit. Do you understand? You understand? The Cinderella theory. No matter how much those other women all wanted that glass, it belonged to Cinderella. It didn't belong to them. And no matter what they did to their foot, it would not fit. And if it don't fit, you must have quit. Johnny Cochran. Bottom line is make the changes. You know what I mean? Do whatever you got to do. You know, I believe in positive thinking, but it's not just positive. There's a lot of people who think positive and still fuck up. Okay? It's not just that. But you got to also learn to love yourself. That's the key ingredient. Because if you don't love yourself, and I don't mean like, hey, fuck, I look good. The reason why you say that shit, if you're one of those, it's because you know you don't look good. I know fucking girls are top fucking movie stars, porn stars that I've been around. Okay? And when you're around them, and it's all quiet, and they're considered fucking drop dead gorgeous, they cry, hey, my mother never loved me. You know, you see beyond these big tits and the fucking wild hair and all that shit. They do that because that's a facade, because that's what you see. What you don't see is the reality of them. They hate themselves. Okay? Pamela Anderson, all these people are washed up. You know what I mean? Anyway. I'm not saying Pamela Anderson hates herself. I'm not going to get myself fucking in trouble here. But you know what I'm talking about. So, alright, listen, I'm going to end this today. It's a new year. I'll be making more videos. I got a great story for you. Oh my God. I just was telling, you know, my girlfriend knows the story and everything. We were just sitting and talking. I was talking with a bunch of my friends and stuff, and I was telling them, hey, dude, you remember that time? And my girlfriend kind of jarred my memory, telling me, tell him the story about the time you're in. And I'm like, holy shit, I forgot about that. And I went and I Googled some shit. And I'll just leave it at this, because I'm going to get to it. I believe that I had a run-in with a serial killer. Somebody who's very famous serial killer. And this was like 1980, 81. It was a long time ago. Alright? I'll get into it. I'll tell you who it is and everything. Okay? I didn't know that the person was a serial killer. But I could have been very easily one of the fucking people killed. You know what I mean? If I wasn't straight. Because it was a gay guy. We'll get into it. I'll tell you that story. It's a great story. I forgot all about it until she reminded me of it when we were talking. And then, you know, well, I mean, I remember the story, but what I'm saying is I Googled it. I said, you know what, let me check something out. And I Googled shit. And I think I found the person who it was. And it's a very fucking famous serial killer. Anyway, we'll get into that. Okay, but, you know, the incident definitely happened to me. But I'm pretty sure it was with this one particular person. I'll tell you more about it, maybe in the next video. We'll leave that as a tease, alright? I'm talking low because my niece is sleeping. This is what Lee Priest was at my house. And when we were doing it with Jimmy the Bull, and Jimmy and Lee were talking, they're laughing, they're in my garage, and they open up a door, and my niece is in there sleeping, and Lee's like, holy shit, you didn't tell me she was in there, you know? So I'm above that room. It's down here. Anyway, so I'm going to give my boys a plug. Go to Joe Zapata, Jersey Joe Zapata on YouTube. Look for him and look for his brother, the Zapata Brand Podcast. Those are my boys. His brother George, okay, was a boxer, and Joe Zapata. Okay, I'm going to give them plugs. They're good friends of all of us. Good friend of mine and Lee Priest and Jimmy the Bull. You know, Joe's our boy, okay? And I love Joe, so. And I love you guys. I love you guys. You got to love yourself. Just start using that vision where you see through your own bullshit. Like I did when I saw myself in that fucking mirror. Like this, and then, you know, my whole arrest and everything. Alright? I love you guys. Be good to your girl. Be good to your significant other. Pay your child support. If you don't pay your child support and you're a fucking guy that's like a fucking Joe Matarazzi to your fucking girl, bye. Don't watch my shit. I don't like that shit. I don't care. I don't do this. If I did this to be YouTube famous, I could very easily be YouTube famous or Instagram famous. I post a video every fucking couple months sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't post every day like these other guys do. Just talk about nothing. So, but subscribe, because if I don't see people here, then I've no drive to do any videos. So, like and subscribe. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. You're a bunch of fucking momos, but you're my momos. I'm a momo too. We're all momos. Don't be a fucko. Alright, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.